I just had a 12-minute video talking about the gender rights problems that we have in America. I'm gonna try to be as concise as possible, and because I did want to talk about something else, but I was, like I said, I was going over 12 minutes. Um, but basically, it just went, you know, why do we have such a problem? Why do Americans? I'm talking specifically to Americans because America just has this weird problem, like like some Americans just have this thing where, like, you know what, there are gay people getting married right now. I am so uncomfortable. I don't understand that mindset because it does not change your life one bit that this thing is occurring, and it's been occurring for a while. You just weren't aware of it. I promise you, if it wasn't like national news that this happened, right? It was just quietly passed, and it happened, and it occurred, and it continues to occur, and you just weren't aware of it. Your life would not change, but it just so happens to be that it has to be national news because the first thing is you have a problem with it. That's why it's national news. And I'm not. And when I say you, I'm not talking to the viewer specifically. I'm talking to the people that have a problem with it. So show this to whatever bigot that you know. Um. Anyway. Um. There's what is this obsession that people have with things that don't involve them whatsoever. This weird gossiping nature that America has needs to stop because it's not doing anybody any favors. It's making America look really bad. Like, we can't, for whatever reason, accept, like, this is supposed to be the land of the free, and you know what? The more you look around, the more you realize it's a complete fallacy. And I feel like that's something that should be addressed pretty soon because this country has been around for a little less than 300 years, and we still can't get over the fact that two guys might be getting married in Kentucky. Really? Like, I'm sure there are far bigger problems than that, you know. And we have people that use the excuse of, like, oh, my religion prevents this type of stuff, and it's like, okay, sure, marriage has religious ties to it, fine, okay, but the concept of marriage is just the union between two people who just so happen to be madly in love with each other. These just two people that want to express the fact that they love the other person so much they just have to, like, I have to put a ring on it. I have to put a ring on it, right? That's it. There's no really, like, they're not taking turns shitting on a Bible once they get home from the wedding ceremony. And I can promise you that is not something they do unless it's like part of their kink. In which case, you know what, maybe that is a problem. But that's not very common at all. It just so happens to be that marriage has this weird ties to religion to it, and so, like, religious people think they have this weird power to grant, like, marriage licenses regardless of the law. It's like, it's in my opinion type thing. No, it's not your opinion whether or not this is right, and you shouldn't be the final judge on whether or not these two people should get married, because right now it's against the law, to not grant these licenses. There's no possible way. I mean, like, you shouldn't get arrested for it, sure, but at the same time, you shouldn't be. I mean, like, I said this a while ago, but if your religion is getting in the way of something that has been passed to be illegal to do, then maybe you should consider a different profession. Maybe if handing out marriage licenses when, like, you're a huge bigot, maybe you should reconsider your career options. Maybe you shouldn't give out marriage licenses. Like how if you're if you're really big into gun safety and gun control, maybe you shouldn't own a gun shop. I'm just saying, and you know what, I'm all for gun safety as well, but, like, like, you see the analogy, right? Like, that's not something that you should pursue as a career option. It's just because, I'm getting riled up again, and I'm trying to think. This weird disparity that America has on who should get raped. This should not even be a question. Just say everyone. Everyone, like, if you're here, you made it. You know, if you don't have your papers, then there should be things that help you get those papers. We shouldn't be forcing them out, right? We should be helping them get back in. And you know what? Maybe we'll see some real change around here. But you know what? America doesn't like this country change. We don't like change. We like things to stay consistent. We want things to stay the same. If not for big revolutions going around, people would still be living in like segregated houses and stuff like that. You know, the entire country of America could still possibly be coloreds and non-coloreds, but it just so happens to be that we have people like Dr. Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks and that type of stuff that are able to rile up enough people that, you know, we can get some change going, just because like this thing is big enough that we can't ignore it, you know. And people and lots of people assume that just because people riot or protest rather, that something isn't happening when it should, that it's like violent. Like it's not true. It just so happens to be that this thing's been going on for a while and they've kept quiet about it for a long time and nothing happened, so they have to do the opposite. I'm not saying we, because I'm not part of any of this, but at the same time I feel like I have more in common with the people that are for this than the people that are against this. And by this I mean like just generally just like human rights for other people other than yourself, you know. This weird thing that straight people have with being the most common gender. I'm not gonna say normal or whatever. I'm gonna say common. It just so happens to be that a lot of the people, like, you come out and you know how you fill out a checkbox online and there's like already a preset but you change it, right? It just so happens to be the straight is the default, right? That's what people assume of you, just because it's so common, just because that's how life has been perpetuated forever, right? That's not to say that these people didn't exist way back then. It just happens to be that they shut up about it because they knew that if people found out that they weren't the common gender, that they'd probably get killed for it. You know, they found a way. But it's 2015. It's present day. You'd think at this point we'd have we'd have more, not more, sorry. We'd have less hostility to our fellow people, you know. I think I had another point. I'm gonna try to remember it. I'm gonna put a cut right here. Okay. I just remembered my second point. I just wanted to move on from the topic because, you know, it's starting to rile me up, and it's I don't know. But since that whole topic was about learning to love other people regardless. And I guess, hold on, before I move on to my new topic, I will say one thing. Your life will not change if two guys get married in Kentucky. I promise you that the person that you know and you assume they were straight, if they come out to you as gay or bisexual or transsexual or whatever, you know, any of the spectrum, right? If they come out to you, that means that they trust you enough with that information that they don't think that you'll judge them, and that's such a power they're giving you, and, you know, please don't abuse that power, right? I will guarantee you that this person will not change for the worse. If anything, they'll just be more honest with you, and, you know, who doesn't want more honesty? I have a friend who came out to me a few years ago, and I can tell it was tough for that person to say that because, you know, they were really scared to say something, because how do I know? Because I didn't know about it until I would say around 6 months after it was relevant to me. Like, you know, it was a weird thing that I don't want to get into. Basically, something happened. That person didn't talk to me for 6 months, and then that person told me, and I go, okay, fine. That's okay. Where do we go from here? And the thing is, where you go from there, you just continue. You just continue forward, and I promise you, nothing drastic is gonna change. If anything, they're just gonna be more honest with you, and, you know, you and that other person will probably be closer. Another thing that you shouldn't do is you shouldn't stereotype people. Please don't have a gay friend for the sake of having a gay friend. Your gay friend is not an accessory. They are a human being that just so happens to have a certain lifestyle they may or may not be flamboyant, and just because they are doesn't mean that you get to accessorize that person. They're not an accessory. They are a human being. They're a human being. If I could talk, I would be so amazing. They are a human being. They should not be an accessory. Alright, alright, moving on. Just learn to love other people regardless of whatever they like. Unless it's something illegal. Alright, I'll move on from that. And you know what I mean by illegal, right? Like kids. There you go. If your friend likes kids, you should probably report that to the police. Or at least talk to them. Give them a stern talking to, at the very least. Tell them to stop. But speaking of learning to love other people, something that is hard for other people, in my case also, is learning to love yourself, I guess. It's just coming to terms with, just find something you like about yourself, I guess. It's not an easy task. And I was talking to a friend of mine, and basically she told me, if I really want to see some headway with the things I'm going through, I should probably learn to accept my flaws and stuff like that. And the thing is, it's not that easy. I mean, it's hard, and sometimes it's damn near impossible, because some people, I know for a fact, I'm not alone in this, there are just some people that just don't find anything redeeming about themselves, that it's hard to grasp even the notion that you could accept who you are just because you're you. Just I don't know how to process this conversation, because I'm still very green on it, I guess. I still don't know how to process that type of information. It's just a little, I don't know. I don't want to say I disagree with it, because I do wholeheartedly agree with the fact that, maybe you should learn to love yourself. I feel like that's the healthy choice, is to love yourself. And it's fine. It's fine to accept that. But the thing is, how? Where do you start? And so I asked her, and she said, learn to accept your flaws. If you can do something about them, do it. If not, deal with it. And it's so easy for someone to say that, but it's really hard to put it into action. And I will. There is one thing I can take away from it. Like, this whole conversation stemmed from that. But before she said that to me, she said, before I learn to love someone else, I should probably learn to love myself. And that's honest. That's honestly not fair, because it's that other saying that I really hate, because I read it a while ago and I ran with it because I thought that was true. It's honestly not true. The following sentence I'm about to say to you is false. You have to, the sentence being that you have to learn to love yourself before you love someone else. The concept of that goes hand in hand with the notion that you don't deserve to be loved until you love someone else. I'm not saying they're the exact same thing, but that statement, I ran with it for so long, and there's some people who are just like, fake it till you make it, but at the same time, it's a lot more complicated than just faking it. Sometimes it's such a concept so foreign that you can't even bring yourself to fake it. Sometimes you do just need a little push, and there's no shame. Just because you're sad or you're lonely, it doesn't mean that you don't deserve love. It doesn't mean that you're not allowed to love. It doesn't mean that you should be denied of this human experience. It just means it's probably going to be a little bit tougher for you, as it is for me. But learning to accept yourself is something that I do promote. I do understand that concept, but it's really tricky if you just. I guess the first step really is just to get out there and try something. Talk to more people, I guess, is the number one tip that people have told me, and that's a lot harder than it looks because if you have some sort of anxiety, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not gonna say that I have a bunch of anxiety. I don't think I do. I don't want to misdiagnose myself or just say that I have anxiety because people might think I'm doing it for attention. I'm honestly not. I just really don't know. Thing is, it's just hard to talk to other people, and I totally get that. I totally understand that concept. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just rambling here, I guess. I thought it was something that I should bring up because it's something that happened to me recently. I've been moving away from talking about my weeks and just having a few topics in my head. I don't know. And I thought it would make the videos run shorter, but I'm still at 16 freaking minutes. So whatever. I'm done here. Watch out for some more gameplay videos. I have enough content to fill me for a while. Not like the content's anything good. I just remember screwing up the whole Bloodborne thing because what I would do is I would play Bloodborne in sessions of around 4 hours, and around that time I would beat around 3 or 4 bosses. So I would record those, and as soon as I did, I would post them up in a row, and it's just kind of wasted that content. So I'm trying to balance out my Metal Gear content that way. But Bloodborne's a good thing to get content for, I guess. But yeah, watch out for that, and I'll see you guys next week. I hope everyone has a better week than I did. Goodbye. I forget what I said. Peace out. Yeah, there you go. Later.